Residents of Durango and Silverton are suing the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad Company for damages from the 416 fire that began on June 1st. The fire started near the tracks of the company's trains, burning more than 50,000 acres, becoming the 6th largest wildfire in Colorado history. Eric, I'm no lawyer. I know you're not one. Neither of us played one on TV, but I don't know about this case. So you're suing one of the biggest companies in your own cities. And I get why, but I don't know. I'm torn on this one. Your thoughts?
I'm torn too, or I'm not all that torn. I think I'm dubious of the lawsuit. I'm somewhat dubious of the motivations behind it. There's no arguing this was a tragedy. This was a catastrophe. But does every catastrophe need personal injury attorneys swooping in to try to turn it into a major damage suit? They're going to have to prove, and you know, David's the last one on this topic, but is the only attorney around here. But you know, I believe they're going to have to prove negligence here. It's not just causation, and I'm not even sure the causation is clear. But even if you get to causation, you have to prove negligence, and I think, and I certainly hope, that that's going to be a hard bar to prove and to cross.
Brother Jeff, this is something that, if it goes far, if it's successful from these residents, this might impact other groups of people suing other areas, that whether it's burn scar flooding or other fires. Do you think this might have some impact around the state?
Well, I'm pretty sure, but if you go back to the suit itself, they are citing negligence and carelessness. And so when you think about that, they're saying that they're running trains that had they had some safety nets in place that may not have been in place when this fire started, i.e. the helicopter, et cetera. And so if you think about that and the fact that the Forest Service has not yet come to a conclusion and stated how and why that fire was started, if it goes back to the train company started that fire, I think they should be held accountable. And of course, people who have realized loss should be made whole. So it's going to be something big to look at, and just because you're a big business and you're an economic driver, that doesn't mean that you should be shielded away from responsibility. And if in fact that can be proven, and they say they have proof.
Patty, what do you think? I mean, this is a huge driver for both these very small towns, but there's a good point to be made if they're responsible for the damages.
Well, you cannot blame Durango and Silverton for being a little cranky about catastrophes, since they barely have recovered from Summitville and the flooding, which was not their fault either. The train is really a wonderful Colorado amenity if you've ever been on it. It's terrific. It is. They like using the old engines because that's what fans like, but there's also some suggestion that those engines cause the problem. I know a fan of the train has already said he would step up and buy a new kind of engine that would work. So a lawsuit like this might settle some answers. You can't afford to burn up Colorado wilderness just because of people are fans of old train engines. And you know, this week we are also reopening the Basalt shooting range, which was the cause or the site where another fire was started this summer. The only good thing we can say about all this is, thank God the fire season seems to finally be winding down, and that Colorado didn't suffer as much as, say, California.
You're here. David, you are, again, our lawyer at the table. Your opinion on this lawsuit?
Well, it's the Berg Simpson law firm, which for a change, they got themselves in the media without having to pay for it. So you got to be impressed with that. But we don't know the facts, really. They say they have a witness who says they saw a spark from the train's engine start the fire. Now, as Brother Jeff said, the Forest Service and the cities haven't made any determination about who started it. But if they can prove that in court, and they can also prove their allegations that the train didn't have the correct safety equipment for fire suppression. You know, one of the allegations is they had a new crew, which was less experienced in those kind of things than others. You know, that's what trials are for, is to bring out the facts before a neutral person to decide. So I wouldn't say the suit is wrong at this point.